I just wanted to preface that I am not a current student at Sewanee, so forgive me if I don't really know like all the major details about everything, but I will share what I did know. From where I lived to Sewanee was about a 6 hour drive, and the traffic wasn't too bad, but that was until we hit chat, and it was almost a standstill for a bit, but nothing too bad. We ended up making it, and it was really pretty to see the city, but also seeing the transition from city area to the countryside was really nice. I really do like Tennessee. It's one thing I did like. On that note, I will say the drive up was a bit eerie, and that's something that my mom also noted on. Um, the school itself is in what they call the domain, so it's if you think of a mountain, at the top of that mountain is where the school was, and it's kind of like up a hill, and everything else is like below, like city and everything is below that, kind of toward the ground. So you have to drive up these windy roads, and there's a bunch of trees. And when we were before we got here, it seemed like back road territory. I'm not gonna hold you. It was like some lamp posts and long streets with like maybe one house here and there, abandoned stuff. But I don't know. It kind of made me nervous because I'm used to city life where everything is lit by lights. But it wasn't too bad because once we saw this, it kind of was a bit more settling. I did learn from driving up there. We stayed up there for I think a couple days. For a day, stayed 2 nights or whatever. And it does take a bit of a drive to get to a nearby city that's not the campus. Because the campus has its own type of city vibe going on since it's its own domain. But outside of the school and down the mountains, it takes maybe a good 20 minutes to get to the nearest hotel, which wasn't too bad, but just a thought compared to cities where everything is around the corner. There were houses up there, so apparently, like, regular residents live there in addition to other teachers and faculty people. And on the tour, one of the professors told us that for office hours, a lot of times the students will come sit on her porch to chat compared to you going to your actual teacher's office for office hours. And it's a bit more, like, I guess, closer and like casual or intimate, and it was really nice. Oh. So this would allow people to maybe get coffee or have a cup of tea with their teacher, which I thought was really cool because a lot of times with regular office hours, you need to come with a set plan of what you want to talk about and not really waste your professor's time. And here's a very nice boomerang of me from the hotel. Hope you enjoy. Right, so where this one is facing is kind of toward Gary Hall and Carnegie Hall, which is all connected to the All Saints Chapel to the right. But immediately behind me is Fowler Hall, which is the building for undergrad admissions, financial aid, and marketing and communications. But I don't think I got a video of that. And when I went up there, it was pretty foggy, but I kind of think it looks a bit cool. I don't know, gives me Hogwarts vibes. Even though I wasn't really much of a Harry Potter person, you can still get those vibes from here. I don't know, something about it makes me feel studious. I mean, look at simply being on the campus. This is Gaylor Hall, the building for literature, languages, and English. And again, I'm trying my very best to recall everything from the tour. I also took a couple notes, but I do apologize if I don't really get everything in this video. It's pretty much everything that I was able to pick up. So when I got there, I got my itinerary for the preview day, and they allowed us to walk around in the little gallery, and then we took our seats in the auditorium that was in Gary Hall. And then we immediately started our tour when they separated us and we got our tour guide. And then we visited the All Saints Chapel, which is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, so I'm going so fast. I didn't record that much, but I'm going to probably do little um, cards and talk about the buildings that I just showed. So the All Saints Chapel is one of the 3 chapels that they have on campus. And the school has an Episcopal church background, but they don't require you to like take a theology class like a lot of Jesuit schools may. Um, but it's a really nice chapel, and they like host religious faith and service group events if you're into that. So that was one thing that I really did like about the chapel. Here's some more beautiful campus video. Oh my, I can't get over it. And this is only in the fog, like in the fall time. It was really cold. I brought my big puffer because, where I live, the cold is crazy. But there, I did not expect that from Tennessee. That was disrespectful cold. But here is someone's outside door of the dorm room, Sierra. Pretty cool. I'm not sure whose dorm this was, but this was someone like a current student's room. Hope they didn't mind. It was kind of cool though. One thing I will say about this school is that their dorms are great. I've seen maybe I think 3 or 4 of the living halls that they have, and out of all the schools I've toured, maybe only a couple have apartment style dorm rooms. Like, yeah, the school does have communal options, like with communal bathrooms and things like that. But not only do they have co ed dorms, but the rooms themselves have their own bathrooms, or sometimes, like, there's little kitchen areas that are shared, and common rooms and living rooms. It's so nice. I've already made a list of like my top living arrangements. And along those lines, they do have what they call theme houses. So these are living spaces specialized for certain groups of people. So they have a women's house, French, German, Spanish, Italian, and Greek house. And a lot of this is based on like your interest. It like you don't have to be studying there in order to be in that house. I think you have to sign up to be able to live there, or maybe there's always one graduate student living there. But the themed houses themselves house a lot of great and specific resources that you may need. So they were really nice to learn about. So this is I'm not the wellness center. This is the wellness commons, and a little bit about it is they have some really nice workout machines, and you can sign up for workout classes and programs hosted in the facility. And they have their own like gym membership called Fitwell, but kind of in the oh, there's my little tag. Outside in the little office area, kind of farther in the building, they have a mental health service center, which is pretty beneficial, of course. Oh, there's a little monkey guy. And they promote wellness services and support groups. They have a little bookstore. You can get snacks and essentials. And they also have this really nice program. It's called Sewanee Outreach, or SOP. And you can rent gear and supplies throughout the semester to get to know the surrounding domain. And they organize these, like every week they have these extended trips, and you can go into the wilderness if that's your thing. Not really mine, but it's good opportunity to have, and I think that's pretty cool. And that brings us to McClurg Dining Hall. Girl, I had some of the most bomb chicken and waffles here when I visited. Shout out to Mimi. That waffle was very good. And everyone was really sweet and like always making sure, you had some good stuff on your plate, and if you wanted them to get you something, I couldn't think of what to say. Here's some more campus videos. This is the language building, if you have a language class. This is the Snowden Forestry building. They have geology. Oh, this is DuPont. DuPont is their beautiful library, and they have their own little cafe in there called Cup and Gown Cafe. Pretty nice. Honestly, I mean, look at the candle. Like, what? I would study for hours. And they also have an upstairs area and some really comfy resources. It's pretty nice. Also, I didn't get any footage from the university supply store or their campus bookstore, but it kind of relates to the library in that it has its own section, the bookstore has its own section where they have published material from students and faculty there. And they also do book signings. Like they host those people's book signings. That's amazing that that school promotes not only to publish their own students and faculty, but that they also encourage people to get into that, like read into their material, support them, buy their books right then and there, and it's promoted on campus. Like that's amazing. So that brings us to, I'm pretty sure this is Spencer Hall, which houses their science classrooms and like it's a science building and their labs. This part was super pretty, and somebody was telling me about how like when it snowed, people stand over the ledge and throw snowballs at people, but I'm not sure how true that was. I don't remember, but one of the students from the tour told me that, and it was pretty funny. So this is the Fowler Sports and Fitness Center. It has their gymnasium, which has basketball courts, their swimming pool, indoor track, indoor rock climbing rooms, workout rooms, handball, racquetball, squash, all those types of rooms. When I went, there was like a swim meet happening right there, so that was pretty cool to see. There was also a basketball tournament, and there were a couple schools in there that were like heating it up. It was really nice to see. And the coaches also have their offices in the back part of the facility. I thought that was really nice. In case you didn't know, Sewanee, or formerly known as the University of the South, is a D3 SAA or Southern Athletic Association conference school. They also have their own cafe and tavern, and it seemed like it was its own little kind of like city, like its own town within the school. Usually it's like the school is within a college city or a town, but no, there was like this little, it really is a domain. It's crazy. It was really nice. Their street names were unique, like they were named after states or like based off the history of the school itself. They had their own bike shop where you can like rent or get your bike fixed, which is really beneficial. Even if you don't drive, it's still a nice way to get around campus. It is pretty big. I don't remember the exact size I said, but they were like it's like over 1,000 square feet. Like that's I'm not even doing it justice in this little vlog. It was so massive. And the part that I just showed you today was just their main campus. So they still have campus like far out and beyond in this like big area. And it was really nice. So I'm just gonna do like lightning round of some fun facts that I learned about the school while on tour. A couple of things that I did notice while I was on campus was how fast everybody talks. I live in the city, and trust me when I say people do talk a lot, but we often space out our words and sentences as we speak and draw everything out. But while I was there, a lot of people were just talking and everything, every word was following one after the other, and they didn't mess up on anything, and they talked really fast. And then when they asked you a question, they just went really quiet and then like waited for you to answer. But apart from that, everybody was really sweet. The Southern hospitality is definitely a true thing on campus. Everyone's really accommodating and just thoughtful. I really enjoyed it. So, to get away from the facts that you can learn that are on their website, like how none of their classes are taught by TAs or they have a 10-to-1 student teacher ratio, I just thought it was really cool how they have this ceremony where people are robed. And every year, if you meet a certain GPA requirement, you're eligible to receive a ceremonial robe where it just showcases that you work really hard to get a certain GPA, and walking around that type of campus, it gives Hogwarts vibes. So I thought that was really cool to know. Also, the school is pretty sustainable. They have their own sustainable hall within their geology. I think it's their geology building or forestry building, and they grow their food locally, like a decent amount of their food locally, and they have a greenhouse with environmental representatives, which is really cool because that shows that those people are attending school and working on campus in order to improve the efforts of that school's specific sustainability while also learning and getting your own degree. Like, you get to directly impact your environment right there at the school, and they give you that opportunity, which is really nice. So my tour guide was telling me about the honor code and how it makes a lot of people on campus feel a lot more accountable and honest and safe. And I'll put it on the screen. But she still, told us to be responsible for our stuff and look after everything, but also be honest. And the little pledge for all your work, it just makes sure that you maintain integrity, academic integrity, and kind of urging you to be responsible for yourself and your studies so that you won't need to lie, cheat, or steal while you're at school. These chips, oh my gosh, I had like, I think 2 or 3 bags the entire trip I was there. I could not get enough. But here's us on the way home. We just left the school, and you can see the mountain area that I was talking about. But all in all, it was a really nice school, and I am extremely glad that I got the chance to visit.